You ready?
Call this meeting to order. Please rise and remove your hat and say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll go ahead, Brian.
I'll make a motion to approve January 12th's minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from January 12th. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. So moved. Ms. Atkins.
Just have the accounts payable fund report for you guys to approve.
Make that approve with you. Change.
Yeah, Megan, you're gonna look into that?
Yes, I will look into the thing, yep.
Okay.
I just talked to Jamie about it and we'll look into it first thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
There may be one slight adjustment on there. The item B may not have been divided correctly. So I'll make a motion to approve the claims pending that review.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed the same. So moved.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Wagner.
I think Ms. Atkins has passed over to me the wage ordinance, I should say the amended wage ordinance for 2026. So that's ordinance 02-2026.
And I think Keith has some.
I think we're gonna have some discussion
Yep.
during the Director of Operations. And then we'll approve it after
You
a
want to
while.
hold it till then?
Yes,
Yeah, that's
please.
fine. So, I believe I put in the Dropbox folder an amended, essentially code chapter for the cemetery. Nate has put a lot of work into this. He has kind of gone over the entire code section, tuned it up with what he thinks the cemetery needs. I really didn't do a whole lot to it other than just kind of point them towards where to organize it. So I can't really answer a lot of questions very well, but I think Nate does. He walked me through it at one point. And he does have the command of why he wants these rules done the way that he wants. Our proposal would be, or I guess my proposal is, pass it on first reading tonight. We're going to publish it, probably approve it at the second meeting in February. There aren't ordinance violations in the sense that we normally think of things like parking tickets or abandoned vehicles or anything like that, but there are provisions in there that could potentially separate someone from property that they're not allowed to have at the gravesite that they leave behind. Nate could theoretically remove it. Technically, if you violate certain of the rules, you can actually lose your ability to have somebody interred there. So if you read the fine print on the old language, so that's why we feel like it's important to publish it. I think Nate's got a plan he may want to speak to on how to push this information out to the public, make sure they're educated on what's appropriate for grave sites, what's not. A lot of it is just kind of that safety of the workers there, safety of other patrons, and preservation of other people's property. We don't want someone mowing over gravel and it becomes a machine gun, that sort of thing. So,
Is this just amending what's already out there? So to know what it used to say and what it says now, do we have a comparison?
yes, we can send you the red line version
That'd be
so you
great.
could see that.
Yeah.
So, but it did take language from, actually, I'm not sure there's a red line version, but what I can do is scan what he gave me. It took language from the existing chapter and essentially made some slight revisions in a few places and then lengthened some of the rules or added a better explanation in some cases, the way I would describe it. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 03-2026 on the first reading.
I'll second that.
I have a question. Nate, do we have, is there anywhere out there at the cemetery that has like a list of rules posted?
There is, Mr. Frame put that into place at one point on the side of the building, but other than that, there's nothing other than the rules that are posted on the website. And so there's a lot that if you didn't purchase, or if you weren't the great purchaser, you never got a copy of the rules. So it's kind of like you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
And so basically we're trying to basically get the word out. We're going to put up some signage and some other things that are going to help make those rules kind of more explicit to people and out there and open for them. And we're not, make it transparent to what we're looking for. But the main goal of it is just to make the cemetery clean, uniform, safe, and overall a pleasurable place to go and visit your loved ones. So a lot of the language was updated to reflect the things that we're seeing that are in violation and stuff like that. That's always going to evolve. So we're just trying our best with that.
Yeah, I read through it. I was just trying to figure out how, like, to your point though, unless you actually
you have-
purchased the plot, you probably wouldn't know.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how do we, I'm thinking maybe when you pull into the cemetery, the problem is we have like several entrances, but maybe there's a QR code with the signs that's bringing the
Exactly.
cemetery rules.
Yeah.
There's a QR code, you scan it and go, yep, that's what I read through this, I know what I can do and I can't do.
And I actually got, Austin's helping me out with a link where they've ordered signs before. Our plan is to put signage along every drive exiting the cemetery so that once you enter the cemetery, you can't exit without seeing a sign with rules. We're also gonna put another one to replace the current stuff that's on our building. And we're talking about putting one in the Kaiser section and up by the chapel. So basically, there's going to be an expense there, but I think overall it'll work out in the long run. And we're also going to use social media in a positive way to make people aware, because again, you don't know what you don't know until it's in front of you. So we're going to try to do some community involvement or some way, portray they're not new rules, they're updated, more clear, so that people really understand, what's permissible and what's not. So
Thank you.
that's what we're working on.
All right. We've got a motion and a second to approve the amended ordinance for the cemetery rules, 3-2026. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, oppose the same. So moved.
I think that's all I have for you tonight.
All right. Any new business to discuss outside of current agenda? Nothing on old business here. Public comment?
Actually, I do have an item under old business that wasn't on the agenda. If you're ready to set up an executive session to talk about the apartment building, that might have been on Keith's
Okay, yeah,
too.
Keith has something.
Okay,
Yep.
Keith's got it, I'm sorry. So, but I think we are ready for that conversation. We can deal with it at Keith's time.
Okay.
Which I guess.
Is now.
Is now.
My apologies, folks, we're having some technical difficulties. We just had this installed today, and I'm on with Adam Seifert, and he's trying to get us through it. We're broadcasting, but there's no video with the audio. So.
I did my hair for nothing.
So are we discussing the...
We are just, it's your
Your time.
turn,
Okay.
so
So we have a few key points that we need to get clarified tonight, hopefully from the council. The first request is pertaining to our comp time. We have started a comp time policy, and we would like to let the employees, it'd be 16 hours of overtime, which equals 24 hours, if you figure the time and a half. And that comp time will be quarterly. It'll have to be used quarterly. If it's not used, they'll be paid for it. We have talked with the department heads about trying to use flex time when all possible, but when we first talked about it, we had numbers all over the board of how many hours we would allow, but we'd like to see to start out, and this group of department heads knows that this is a project in the works, and we're going to see how it works. We know we might make some adjustments, but we would like to move forward with 16 hours, which equals 24 hours of comp time each quarter.
How many things do you have on your agenda that we will be discussing tonight?
I have 6 that are of importance, and then a note, so 7.
Are we gonna need a motion on each individual item that we're
This is
discussing?
part of the ordinance, so this is just up for, I believe it's up for discussion.
Right.
And then if what we've put into the ordinance is what he's listed here.
So what you can do is we can make a list of, you have the ordinance as it is right now. You can approve it as it is right now. If there are things that you want amended, we'll make a note of those amendments. I think because of the ability to start some of these things, Ms. Atkins is hoping we can approve it on 3 readings tonight.
Right.
So we just need to keep track of the amendments. We don't need an individual amendment an individual motion for each amendment. I think Mr. Frayne is just gonna kind of call your attention to these things to make sure they're set up the way you would like.
My question would be, if he's got 6 or 7, but we don't agree with one of them, how do we omit that one?
So at that point, someone can make a motion effectively to approve it with an amendment
Okay.
specific to that. Someone may not vote for it because of that. I think the idea is if there's a consensus on the amendment, then the motion is made with that amendment, and you vote up or down based on that.
Okay.
So that first point was the 16 or 24.
Right.
The second,
Can we
Yes,
just, for the sake of the public and myself, because I don't always understand it, the comp time is if we get some overtime, let's say 10 hours overtime that week, that individual can forego the time and a half pay, or the overtime pay, use that for time in the future that they would take time off.
That's
right?
correct.
So if they worked 10 hours overtime, they would receive 15 hours of time off,
yes.
but they have to use that up before the end of the quarter.
Yes.
If they don't use that up, then they would just get that paid out in time and a half as they normally would have before.
Correct.
And then flex time, explain to me a little bit.
So flex time is a scheduling issue that if a department head can, if an employee would work that same time over and they can work it out in that pay period and reschedule, flex time is a scheduling issue that the employee could take off an hour for the flex time.
Okay.
You just mentioned flex time has to be used in that 2-week time frame.
That's why I understand.
Not for the quarter.
Correct.
In the pay period.
In the pay period.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yes, sir. The second point involves our police department's school resource officer. The department as a whole won't be going to the comp time policy, but they have asked if they can meet with their police commission and come up with a plan to present to the council for the school resource officer. It would work greatly in the summertime. It'd be more efficient for scheduling for this, whoever's in that position. Wes Atkins happens to be in it now. And just speaking with Chief Stouter before the meeting, had a discussion about the possibility of when we have a new hire and they're going to the academy, that the travel time just kills the department's budget, that we might be able to work out something along that lines too. And we had a discussion that take that to the police commission and see where they can work and bring this to the council.
Okay, so you mentioned, so that in the ordinance that we have in front of us, when we talk about comp time,
It's on page 7.
Page 7.
thank you.
7 and 8, comp time and then flex time is at the top of page 8.
So it says here that the school resource officer and then you said when we, like, anything that has to do with the police department would be handled by the police commission. And then anything for the park would be handled by the park board.
That's
Because
one of
they
my
do-
points I'll be bringing up here in a bit.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you. Go ahead.
So while we're on that, I'll just jump right ahead to that. So basically the same thing with the park. We know that there needs to be some flexibility with the park schedule and the summertime hours and the pool. And we had a meeting with Brian. Chief Nair happens to be the president of the park board. And we agreed that they would meet probably with Mr. Miller, who is the council's liaison to the board, and probably bring on Greg Miller, who has been on the park board for a long time. Same thing like the police commission, they'll come up with a plan and to present to the council for final approval. But I think we need to probably lay that back to the park board. They're the governing body of the park.
All right. Any discussion on that point?
No.
This involves on-call pay. Well, I'm going to jump ahead and then I'll come back to this. So it's been a number of years. I think Alex thought it was 2015. A number of years since we revisited the amount of on-call pay. On-call pay is that amount of money that we pay an employee to be by the phone within 20 minutes to respond to any kind of an emergency call that needs their immediate attention. And currently, the on-call pay is $15 a day, that's a day, from Monday through Thursday, $35 a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. And if an employee is on for a whole week, that equals $165. We'd ask that we revisit that and simply make each day, whether it's a holiday or Friday, Saturday, make each day simply $35 a day, and that would be a total of $245 a week for this employee that's on call. And again, the on call is, we've restricted their movement. We had some discussion about holidays, families up in Michigan on Christmas. This employee is going to have to stay and be ready to respond within 20 minutes. So
We also restrict, they are not allowed to drink alcohol during
Correct.
that time as well.
correct. So it's a bit of a responsibility on their part, but at
Is
this point,
on-call pay restricted to certain individuals, or is it open to each employee in each department?
each employee, for each.
So it's spread out so everybody has equal share?
I believe they're guys, you're on rotations for your departments. That's how I understand it.
It's on page 8 of what, this is right underneath flex time, is it the on-call and call and pay?
Previously, the last adjustment only took a Friday from $25 to $35. So I think this would be a nice increase for the guys. Straight up, and it's easier too, just 35 across the board, no matter what. So
Okay.
Any questions?
Any other discussion on that?
So while we're on the on-call pay, Chief Nair explained to me that right now, Greg Wellborn, who's a battalion chief for the department, he is a full-time employee. He's been assuming these duties, but we're asking that when Matt is on vacation and when Greg assumes the full duties of the fire chief, that he be allowed to claim the on-call pay. There was discussion that the assistant chief is a volunteer firefighter, has his own full-time job. He cannot assume those duties like Greg can, because that is his job at the fire department. But after 4 o'clock until 7:30 the next morning, he'll be assuming those duties as Matt would have as fire chief. So we're asking that he be allowed to receive the on-call pay during those vacation days.
So is it vacation, personal, sick, and comp time? Or you don't get
Well,
comp time?
and probably what I'm going, if I'm like, because I'm gonna attend a week school in Indy this year, so I would assume during that time. you know.
Okay. So anytime you're away,
Yeah,
he would assume
when
that
I'm
not
away
just
overnight or something.
yeah, away overnight, not just for vacation time.
Right.
Who's doing it currently?
Greg,
Greg is.
Greg.
That's what I'm saying. He's been doing this for
Right.
for
And
free
why can't
for.
the assistant chief do it?
because he's a volunteer and he has other things that he has to do.
Okay.
But, so Greg is an employee of the county.
Right.
So
right.
that's why it
Right.
would make sense to have him do it. He does virtually the same job as the assistant chief, as a battalion chief.
And is, for my own curiosity, because I'm not aware of how it's done, but like, is there a reason why Wellborn or the full-time employee, you got 2 full-time employees at the fire department, would not be the assistant?
Because the assistant chief is not a full-time employee.
Correct, but what I'm saying, how is the assistant chosen? It's not chosen by the Bremen, or is it
Chosen
chosen?
by me.
Okay,
Yeah, and Denny was Jerry Lanning's assistant chief when I took over. So I
okay.
just left him in that role.
Again, just a question, does it make sense to have the assistant chief be the other full-time employee in the future?
I don't think you can actually do that because I could hire, Nate could be in that position and I would, Nate's just a firefighter right now, so if Nate took that job that Greg did and Greg left, you'd have to move him up to an assistant chief and he's not at that level already yet.
Okay, so it depends on more about rank and?
Yes, correct.
Okay, just curious, thank you.
I know.
You'd have to have a station manager that has
Yeah.
a lot of experience.
A lot of time spent.
Okay, so that's the problem, you don't
Yeah.
really need that for the station manager, and,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah. And they all the captains and battalion chiefs and assistant chief, they take rotations on the weekends to be in charge, so they're fully capable of doing it.
So if someone else is in charge that weekend and you're on vacation,
That doesn't count,
okay,
because they're on a rotation for the weekend.
it's just your rotation. Okay.
So
So
what-
we'll have to rephrase this to say anytime that he's away overnight and not on weekend, or that is his weekend duty as well.
No, so my weekend, I stay here.
Okay. But
So
say
what
you're,
happens-
That's a volunteer force.
What happens if you both happen to be off at the same time?
Then it would go to somebody else to fill in,
So why can't we do that now?
because you're not gonna have that. I don't have the guys, they have other jobs. So realistically, we're not gonna be off at the same time. One of us is there all the time because there's an employee there during the day. And there's only 2, so you're spread kind of thin.
I'm sorry.
There's only 2, so you're kind of spread pretty thin when it comes to that.
any questions?
Any more discussion on that particular part? Okay.
And that is one where we will amend the
Okay.
language of the ordinance.
afterwards.
Well, I think we need to tell you what we're gonna make it say and where. Basically, if you look at the 3rd bullet point in the middle of page 8,
Yeah.
under the on-call and called-in pay section, we would make that read, station manager will receive on-call pay of $35 a day for each day they're on call. We would change when the chief is on vacation to when the chief is unavailable on a weekday.
And weekend as well, right? Because
If it's my weekend and my rotation, I'm planning.
More than
That's where
likely.
That's where I'm volunteered.
but as a technical, should we-
Well,
Technically, yeah, so if I want medical leave or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah, technically it could happen.
So,
Like when I had my
okay,
knee replaced.
Yeah.
Right.
I
mean,
understood
that
it.
could have been that.
yeah.
I understood it was only weekdays, but I'm hearing now that
Well, I mean, if I have a medical leave,
Okay.
have my neck
So,
replaced, you know.
we're gonna change, chief is on vacation, so change on vacation to unavailable.
Right.
And that way it applies to,
Anytime.
Thank you.
that's a more simple
Still learning.
change, yeah. All right.
We want to talk a little bit about call-out pay. Call-out pay is when an employee is called out anytime past their shift, 2 o'clock in the morning, to come in to address, it's going to be an emergency. We looked, I immediately thought of like the police department years ago. We changed the call-out pay to a minimum of 2 hours. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, they get called out to one of those emergency calls that in 45 minutes, it's taken care of, but they're still got called out in the middle of winter, 2 o'clock in the morning. We thought it was worth paying the employees 2 hours, and it passed, and that's been a long time ago. With the discussion, we talked about possibility of doing that for the other employees, but it looks like we want to, well, before I go there, Megan checked, and because there was some conversation about being worried about ghost employment, that does not take effect. There is nothing about that. We can set our own minimum hours for call-out pay. But as we talked about, we'd like to see at least a 1 hour call-out pay. So they come out in a half hour, it's taken care of, they'll get at least 1 hour.
So, I mean, just to be clear, like, this weekend we got snow coming in, guys come in, they basically clock in and they're getting paid for the time that they're on. But if there was, somebody called and said, I got a water leak here, and the water department goes out there and they realize they just had their hose on and just needed to turn it off, and Henry's there for 10 minutes, but he had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go figure this out, he's gonna get an hour of pay because he's been, put out of his way. Inconvenience. Okay. So that's just, and then versus just, okay.
And I'm sure that most calls is gonna require an hour time they get there, get
Right.
equipment out, get equipment back, but,
I think 1 hour is a good starting point. We can always revisit it. If we find out that more time is needed, we can always make that adjustment.
So, but for the wage ordinance, we've got 1 hour in here?
Well, honestly, that is not in here.
Okay.
It's only updated as the police officers, and I suggest we do that point through another amendment. That's more than what I can throw together. Actually, Ms. Atkins or I could throw together in this.
So, do we have any verbiage right now that states what it is?
Just in the handbook, it doesn't say anything about, that's where it started, because it just says, it just calls out police officers, it doesn't say anything for the utilities.
and there is no minimum call-out
Right,
pay for
there's
the
no,
other employees.
right now, so,
So we need to add that.
correct.
Yes, so
Okay.
we'll pick that one up in frankly another amendment, just to keep this more simple.
And you'll have that next amendment for the next council meeting, you think?
We'll do our best to get that ready to go. It is, honestly, the entire handbook, I think, needs kind of a revamping, not just an update, but just an overhaul.
Correct.
Kind of the equivalent of the recodification, reorganize it, and maybe standardize some of the more unusual provisions we have in there that are from 40 years ago, so.
So the last thing is just a note, had a meeting with all the department heads, and they had a lot of input, and I did ask them, and I told them exactly what Bill just said, that this is a work in progress, we can always make some adjustments, but I also asked that each department head put together a detailed report and have that included in their, for your guys' Dropbox when they turn in their activity reports. So we can kind of see how many are using comp time, how many are using the overtime pay, for what kind of duties. Just I ask them to be as detailed as possible so we can kind of get a reading of it for a few months to see where we need to go next. So you guys should be seeing that probably at the next council meeting.
And I'll work with Keith and the guys too, there might be a way to do that through the program we have right now, because I have to add comp time into it and that kind of stuff, so we can just kind of work on that together, so.
that's all I have on that.
Okay, is there any discussion with these points? I know we have, the call-out time will be amended at either the next meeting or the meeting after. There was some verbiage on the on-call pay for the chief that will be amended, just to say vacation will be scratched and put unavailable.
Just to be clear, our salary positions are all gonna be 27 pay periods this next year, 26.
It's stated here in the,
Yeah.
It's on page
Somewhere.
6.
6?
Yep. Yeah, all the salary amounts are then times 27 days.
That's all I have.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the amended salary ordinance number 2-2026 on all 3 readings.
I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second to approve salary ordinance number 2-2026 on all 3 readings. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. So moved.
We're gonna send one copy down. Okay.
Should be the apartments.
Am I still on?
Yep.
I thought we were just discussing that, my apologies. So, I don't think we want to discuss that, I think we want to set an executive session. You guys received the documentation on your email. I think we're all eager to move forward with the apartments across the street. So if we could grab your phones, maybe check calendars, if we could come up with a date.
First question is, how soon do we want to do it?
To the executive session?
Right.
Just do it the ninth.
I mean, personally, for me, Fridays during the day, if we're doing during the day, are the best.
Can the others make it?
I mean, if you do it during the day, I'm just saying, like, I could open my
Probably
schedule.
gonna be an evening meeting, correct? What do you think, Dave? Evening?
Just depends on the day for me.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it the ninth after the current council meeting?
I'm okay with that.
We'll have everybody here.
Yeah, we can
And I think it'll keep that long.
Okay.
That was simple.
Yeah. Not quite, it's my birthday, so I'm expecting cake or something.
That'll be something.
That's all I have.
Alrighty, thank you. Lost my list.
Oh,
Alright. Chief Stouter.
Our newest officer, Luke Landig, started today. He was sworn in by Megan this morning. Glad to have him aboard.
Excellent. Ben?
You guys should have a copy of my annual report, unless there's any questions. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Austin? Matt? Brian? Henry? Nate?
You just have my report and, to circle back to the ordinance, if, for the public or you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, email, text, call, whatever, so.
Will do.
Thanks.
Chief?
I have nothing.
I'll make a motion to accept department head reports.
Second.
So motion and a second to approve department reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. So moved. Dan?
All right, thanks, guys. You guys also have our report. I'm gonna touch on a couple of points here. First off, last week, we had the pre-construction meeting for the wastewater plant project. Things went well at that. Mike, I still need to reach out to you to get the notice to proceed signed. I realized I didn't get that done last week, but I think at the last council meeting, we authorized him to sign it outside of the meeting, so.
Do you have it with you, or?
No, I don't. No, I don't. But that'll be backdated the last Tuesday. Damon's fine with that date and everything, so we're good to go. At that pre-construction meeting, a question came up regarding retainage on the project. Tony, I think I forwarded that to you. Maybe I didn't.
I don't think I saw that. Oh, I might have missed it. I'm sorry.
Okay, if not, I'll send it
look for it,
again.
yeah.
Basically, the contractor asked during the pre-construction meeting if, so typically on municipal projects in the past, we've held 5% retainage on labor, materials, and equipment throughout the project. Apparently, there was a recent state legislative session where they reduced that amount to 3%. I found the case, and looks like it passed through and was signed by the governor and everything. I just wanted to get your opinion on it before we move forward with it, but all that would change is just how much we hold on each pay app. So nothing huge there. So we're continuing to get RFIs and submittals and everything geared up for the start of the project. Thieneman indicated that they're looking at mobilizing towards the end of March. So that's kind of when things will be, when they'll start digging. They're gonna start with the influent pump station. So that'll be the first thing to go. Also, with regards to Lake of the Woods, I updated the memorandum of understanding between the district and the town. I kind of did a quick presentation on that at the last meeting. I think we were looking for a few more things. There have only been 2 somewhat major revisions to this since what you last saw. First of all, the amount of capacity being purchased was increased from 50,000 to 85,000. That was done by applying the 2.7% growth over a 20-year period within the district. So the district, if any growth were to happen outside the district, that would require the MOU to be revised. But the other thing that was attached is the very last page of the MOU, which is a district boundary. That's the legal limits of the sewer district boundary as defined by, it actually shows up on county GIS. But that is the current district limits. So any development that were to take place inside of there up to that 85,000 gallons per day capacity would be allowed under this MOU. So I didn't know if you guys had any other comments or anything you wanted to see addressed with this.
On your report, you've got community crossings matching grant not awarded, plans have been finalized and shovel ready for next year. What's that?
I would have to get with Mike Vol on that.
I can probably explain. Are you asking what does that mean?
Yeah.
So, very few communities got community crossings grants this year.
Okay.
If I remember right, I think for Marshall County, La Paz got something and Argus got something. Literally nobody else. I thought I heard that the entirety of Elkhart County didn't get anything. Nothing. So they made some changes as a result of SEA 1, or used to be Senate Bill 1, and this is one of them. I think a lot of people were caught off guard by it, a lot of municipalities, we kind of knew it was going to be like this, but to see it actually happen, I think was a bit shocking. So I don't know if the state might consider maybe putting some more funding, but remember, and I know the county has talked about this, and Plymouth has talked about it, but essentially the state legislature is forcing larger entities, in this case, cities like Plymouth and Marshall County would be good examples, into passing a wheel tax. And I think starving the CCMG program is one of the ways they're forcing that. We are not at the size where we have to deal with that, and maybe we won't be by the time the next census even.
For a
but
wheel tax?
if they lower that threshold, then we will be behind the 8 ball, just like I said, Marshall County and Plymouth have done. So right now, though, we are underneath that threshold and we're in a different category, but it absolutely affects what money we're able to apply for. So we're in a different pool.
And to be clear, I mean, this is your grant, right? So this is streets, we're already,
So I did hear there may be one call in the spring, but it's gonna be significantly lower, possibly 75,000, it's 75 million, so, and it won't go to anybody that already has received, the previous one. So, do you have a paving plan, that,
Mike and I have been working on.
okay,
From TPR.
okay, for not having those funds and
Yeah.
what you're gonna do?
that's- We talked to Megan and Keith about
Yeah.
what we have and what we can do, and obviously our plan of doing South Bowen was scrapped for the year, so, but yeah, so with Mike and I have been trying to get together something, so at least we have some type of
Paving done.
paving getting done, some preventative maintenance getting done, you know, so we're not just falling farther behind, but obviously not
Yeah.
what we
No,
want
yeah.
here.
Thank you. Good job.
And there's somebody at AIM, Campbell Ricci. We've watched him a few times do some different things. I reached out to him, and there's also Joe Tallman. He used to be the Warsaw mayor. He's talked with Austin too. It's something that I started that conversation, but right now we're not doing any paving. So yes, it's something that we have feelers out there, and AIM's really trying to work with legislation on a lot of things in general, but they are there to help us to get creative as well. So we've already started that conversation. It's just something that's been kind of on the back burner for the last few weeks, just with everything going on, so.
I mean, I would also think that we'd want to talk to Baker Tilly when we're looking at our budget. I mean, this is a shortfall.
Yep.
And so whether that's, you know, trying to figure that into, you know, is there still those different options that we can appeal to get our max levy raised? Or did they take the options
They
completely
took
away?
that option away, and we couldn't do it last time. We had, the fall was the last time they were allowing that to happen, and that option is going away with the rest of the SB one bill, so.
Okay. All right.
But I just want to make it clear for anybody watching, we're not able to do a wheel tax, we're not considering a wheel tax, Freeman is not gonna have a wheel tax because we're not big enough. So, just leave it at that. It's just, that's the thing that the state, I think, is wanting larger entities to do, and it's just not an issue for us. So I just don't want anybody to take the wrong impression away from this conversation. But if you go back and look at, I know people were going on the local radio show, I think there's probably some discussion in the local paper. If you find those articles about Plymouth and Marshall County, I don't think Marshall County's done theirs, but you can get a lot of the understanding of what the legislation was and why they kind of were painted into a corner of sorts. They didn't really have much other choice because it absolutely affects how much money they were able to apply for. In this case, they're just not putting as much money into it, and unfortunately, I think a lot of communities, including us, got used to it. So it's definitely a reality.
All right. I don't have any more questions, Dan, sorry.
Yeah, not a problem. So I guess if everybody's okay with the MOU, I was gonna request that be signed off this evening, and then I will be presenting it to Lake of the Woods RSD tomorrow night. And once I have a fully executed copy, I can distribute it to everybody.
Great. Need a motion for me to sign?
I have one question, and it kind of relates to what Mr. Michael asked about at the last meeting. But is there a lot of excess capacity when the new plan is online? Okay.
Yeah, so the current flows at the town of Bremen, if you add in Lake of the Woods, you'd still have capacity for up to 600 to 700 additional homes worth of flow. So before you would hit the 90% capacity, it'd be placed on an early warning ban from the state.
The only concern I have is with some of the projects we have, we're gonna hopefully be eating into that capacity from the town side, not just on Lake of the Woods. Now, I think Mr. Michael's concern was if someone were to develop out there, how many units could they put in? Well, because of the sewer system, they could probably put in more than if it was just on septic, right? But some of that area, I think that is, you know, the more likely pieces to be developed is actually in the district already. I assumed it was out, but looking at it, it looks like it's already in. Not all of it, but some of it that's included, I don't think is likely to get developed at all, based on the current ownership. So, I just have some concern as I look at other projects, which this is, you know, focused on Lake of the Woods. Are we chewing through our capacity too quickly? But I think this sounds manageable.
It was nice to provide a map for us now, so some understanding.
Is that it?
That's it.
Well,
Well, we need a
motion.
motion for the memorandum.
Is it gonna be effective this day, or?
It'd be effective tomorrow when Lake of the Woods would sign it.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding effective 1/27/2026 for Bremen and Lake of the Woods.
I'll second it.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the memorandum with Lake of the Woods. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. So moved.
I do have one more question. What is the, and I know this is for Mike, Boston, you may know too, the need to perform East Street work or repay additional money to NDOT? What is that?
So, community crossings last year, originally we had 300 block Southeast Street to get some work done to it. After getting back the overrun on the other streets, so we decided to cut the East Street. Then the state responded back saying you can't just cut a street.
Yeah.
So that's one of the streets that this year, we have 2 years
Okay.
to do it. So this year that's one of them that we'll address. We'll you know, do some work to it and get it up to par.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
so yeah, otherwise we owe the money
Yeah, that
back that they
section.
gave us. So,
For that section only?
For that section, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Is that it?
That's all I have.
All right. Is that your town council comment, or
That
is
is my
that, are
town
you using
council.
that time up? Okay.
Yes.
Brian, do you have anything for town council comments?
No, I just wanted to thank the fire department again for last week. Quick response, just their ability to get there and do the job very well.
Mr. Daly?
I do have a couple things tonight. First thing, I want to congratulate Austin and all of the department heads that loaned employees to do all the snow plowing and everything that we've had to do out here. I know it wasn't just Austin, but he's in charge of it, so he gets to reap the reward. Fantastic job. I know what you've had to put up with. I read things on Facebook, and it's starting to get ugly out there, so I understand. Along that same line, I believe we need to address our downtown parking. I know Trent, you're new on the position, but overnight parking's not allowed. We need to absolutely red tag every vehicle that's parked overnight the entire year, but especially during the winter. And we need to look at implementing something for like in a snow emergency. If it's forecast that we're supposed to be getting 12 inches of snow, we need to be able to pull those vehicles out of there that same night, not 24 or 48 hours later. If we, like they do in St. Joe County, they implement a snow emergency, and if there's vehicles in the way, they hook them up and move them. We need to do that uptown, because what's happening is Austin's has, his crew has to go around 4 vehicles, come back 3 hours later and try to do it all over again, and by then legal parking's allowed. It's horrendous.
So I don't know if there's anything in the code that allows or has, if there's any language in there for a snow emergency, so I'm gonna have to go.
There used to be.
Okay.
What we used to do, and I don't know what they do anymore, but if there were vehicles up there, the driver would contact the police department, we'd run the plate number, the officer would go up, knock on the door, you got a half hour, move your car, or we're gonna tow it, type of situation.
Right.
That's what we used to do, and then, things change, so I don't know what the policy is now. But
Is there a way on the, I can't think of the name of the text service that we have that pushes alerts? Reach, is there a way through Reach to create?
We have
Like-
638 people signed up for it now, and there's
Okay.
1,900 and some that we would like everybody to be.
Well,
but-
I understand that, but one idea I had was if we're leaving a ticket for the first time, if the ticket on there said, hey, we notify you when there's a snow emergency and parking needs to be moved through this system, if you sign up for it, we'll waive this first ticket. We could do something like that.
And I'm fine with all of that, whatever we
Yeah.
can, but Austin his department and everybody that pitches in and helping, they need help.
Okay.
Let me kind of comment on that.
Sure.
I met with Chief Stouter, Sergeant Schneibel, and Officer Miles a week or so ago, and we talked about this exact same thing. Those guys have been out red tagging,
And I agree.
and we
It's-
talked about
Totally agree.
the old days where you ran a license plate and there was a house, you try to make contact. The whole thing is we'd like you to move the car so we can plow. We don't want to have to tow it. Frankly, we don't want to cause somebody to have to pay $200 to have their vehicle towed. And
Right.
But the guys have been writing a lot of red tags and trying.
In that same sentence, I totally agree. I've heard that we have a couple officers that have been going out there red tagging a lot of vehicles. But I'm also hearing that in some instances, we can't tow it for a week, 7 days.
Depends on what statute it comes under, where it's the abandoned vehicles or junk vehicle. Junk vehicles, kind of reserved for private property, like
Right.
a vehicle's broke down in somebody's yard.
Right.
The abandoned vehicle is one that has been left in a public place for 14 days.
What about overnight parking, like?
We
for
still
snow
have the
removal?
we still have the 24-hour,
Okay,
but even then, we kind of agreed that we want them to move it, but you're not gonna make contact with everybody. The last purpose of a red tag is to take somebody's vehicle from them, to tow it, to give them that expense. We red tag it to educate them, and hopefully they move it, and that's the end of it. If we decide to go with that, there's a lot of people you can't make contact with, whether they're at work or they just don't answer their door, and we start towing, as long as that's what the town wants, and I put my officers out there doing that, we're gonna have feedback.
well,
Negative
I
feedback.
think initially, all the negativity we get is gonna work out positively, because people are gonna learn that you can't be doing this, and I think for numerous years now, we've been way too lax. No, I don't wanna get in anybody's pocket and make them pay a $200 impound fee. It's not what I'm interested in. But we just need to educate them that, you know as well as I do, we can drive around town and there's vehicles been sitting there for 3 months that haven't been moved. And we just need to change that to help the street guys, do whatever that consists of. Mainly the downtown area, but we also have streets in town where they're parking on both sides of the street, and you got snow, and now the truck can't even get down that street anymore. So those are the things. We just lost a brand new tire on one of the trucks because when he went to make the bend, he hit a big rock, blew the tire out, and the tire was about a month old. Just, so those are the things that he's encountering that I believe we need to help him with.
Okay. Are there, is it posted out here that there's no overnight parking?
It is, yeah,
And I just never noticed it.
yeah.
Two to
But I
5
think,
a.m.
you know, if we had a
2 to
snow
5 a.m.
emergency,
No parking,
snow
2 to 5.
emergency,
2 a.m. to 5
It's
a.m.
2 hour parking and no parking 2 to 5 a.m.
yeah. If we could come up with something with a snow emergency, it would be just a little bit more helpful. I don't know what that might be, but, and then the
That's
other,
something that Austin and the police department
They can
and I
work out.
can
Yeah.
coordinate
Such as
on.
the no parking 2 AM to 5 AM, that is gonna result in a night shift officer issuing a ticket and leaving it on their windshield.
Right.
It doesn't take care of the vehicle parked there that night.
Correct.
The car's not gonna get moved. They're not gonna see that ticket till the next day when they get up and get around. So if we
Right.
wanna move forward to even skipping a citation and going to an actual snow emergency and removal,
right,
as long as we make like a reasonable effort to make contact with the registered.
correct.
Do we have cars parked out here that are illegally parked overnight?
Very few, but it does happen. You'll have somebody that lives in one of the apartments and they just forget, or they'll go to bed and didn't realize they moved it back to the parking lot.
Yeah.
But it's not very often. You have more people that come up to the gym late at night, but they're only there for an hour or so.
I'm just wondering if we have a few, if it's very minimal, maybe we just throw something on their windshield that says, courtesy of the police department, would like to inform you that just reminds you that these, you know, so we don't have to red tag it the first time, and if they keep doing it, then,
And I'm happy to follow whatever.
And that's a good beginning.
I mean,
I think that's something that we can talk through.
Right.
though. We don't necessarily have to get into the weeds on it tonight,
Yeah.
Right.
but all those
Right.
things.
And that's something that Keith and Trent and Austin, they can all sit down
Yep.
and come up with something, Mike. And the last thing, and then I'll leave you. Last week I had an employee from one of the businesses want to know why we don't plow the sidewalks uptown, clean the snow off of them. And the person said they'd checked with the area, and most of the towns around us do clean the sidewalks. So again, I talked to Austin today, and it was kind of funny because he had the same thought that I was having. Why don't we do it? And I know part of it's insurance liabilities and slip and falls and things like that. I get that. But after discussing this with Austin today, Austin's in favor of being able to put something together. And again, he would get with Keith, work out the details, and we can start cleaning the downtown area. Some of the problems that Austin has is he'll come through with the loader, and then the people on the town, the businesses, they throw all the snow right back out in the street, and it's back and forth that way. So it causes issues both ways. I know that I've heard that our new employee Tony Buck has been doing a good job on what area that he cleans. But if you walk out the front door tonight and you look over, you'll see 2 or 3 businesses that haven't cleaned their streets yet, or their sidewalks yet. Look down in front of a couple businesses, I'm not gonna name any of them, but a couple businesses down this way, they have not been cleaned yet. In the last 48, 72 hours, they haven't been cleaned. So I think it's a good idea that we take a look at what would be involved for us to clean the sidewalks.
With that, maybe clean sidewalks, but they have to treat them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go, like,
Yeah.
I don't have the particulars, but that's why I said Keith, because we talked about the particulars today. Who's gonna salt them and so on and so forth.
Yep.
They can work all that out and bring back what they deem what
Yeah.
it should be.
Austin and I have talked about it, and talked about the piece of machinery too that would definitely help with that process.
Yeah,
That's a
but
lot,
I think
lot of
that-
concrete to scrape.
I think it could help simplify things. But anyhow, just.
I can think what the West Side's opinion on this is gonna be already though. So, in fact, I've heard it from one of their members in the past. So, that's when you coming to do my sidewalk. So, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna look into this. I'm just
Right.
saying, there's,
They're more welcome to call me. I'll give him my opinion on it.
I'm gonna pass
I knew
that
that when I
along.
took the seat. That's it.
Hey, Austin, I was driving around this weekend. Do you guys have any with the bike street just west of Marshall? Is it no parking on the north side there? It's super. I don't know how you guys even got a plow truck through it.
Oh, just west.
Yeah.
No, it's a bad spot. With,
Yeah.
it's a
Then maybe
spot
one that.
cars, I know today, they couldn't get the salt truck through.
Yeah. Well, the
Traffic
street commission
board.
or the street sign commission or whatever, police, fire, and street department, I think get together and make a recommendation to the council to make that no parking on the north side.
Yeah.
And I'd be open for that because it's really really tight.
Yeah, that's, it's been a problem spot, and it's about as soon as we start to look at it, then it, like they know. So it's all of a sudden it's not an issue, and then, yeah.
Maybe that's something you guys can look at and make a proposal to us. Okay. Thank you. That's it.
I have nothing. Entertained motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
So the last 15 minutes, we just paid $360 to have this installed today, run test runs. That's,
Say, yeah.
I wasn't being rude. I've been back and forth with Mr. Seifert.
So.
You gotta be careful because the folks in the audience have commented on some of our commissions. Well, they're up there just on their phone. They're looking at maps and.
Oh yeah, that's yep.
GIS.
Yep, the plan commission. I was up on my phone pulling up the map. Looking at it, so.
You know,
Oh, sure.
So Brad's in payroll, so today's payroll, right? So Brad is.
Thank you.
And I feel like I have like video, you know what I mean? Like I'm not just like jumping on the street, but literally after like it's too much for everybody. How's Grace doing it?
Do this for artifact.
So the plan was not.
1.5 inch. Clearly average daily flow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot to
Actual
ask
average
them to
daily
do with
flow
the
is
tablet and
about
trying to
1
make it like,
inch.
you know, anyways.
No, we're
So-
that still allows for a couple 100,000
Brad's
gallon per
last
day of
name.
additional
Sorry, actually,
ranges to
Brad's
be
last
done
name.
within town. Or
Well, we kind of talked about it, but then we didn't talk about
somewhere
it.
around.
They talked about when they said.
Nobody else did but you guys.
It's a big sign.
Yeah, that's what I just signed.
But,
You know, the idea would be
What do you want me to do with this?
finally.
We need to execute that.